Oh. Let's check the Sanhedrin, the Samach Tes. So look the Gemara. So we talk about the apostle of Ben Moira to have a son. It's the other way around. You have somebody under the mitzvah to have a son. That's the Sugi Gemara. We learn the drasha. Here ish ben. Only if the man that has the son is a bar mitzvah bucha, at least bar mitzvah. Oh, ben, but not somebody under bar mitzvah that has a ben Moira. Won't be the ben Moira. Is that possible biologically? Biologically, is it possible? It seems possible for somebody under a mitzvah to have a child. Or pliga the rabbit, Abba cotton ain't a boilet. Here, some chesed the base, the bottom. A cotton doesn't cut off a child. Shneba, in ein ish goel talks about gezel ager. A ger dies, and then we say that if he doesn't have a goel, then the money goes to the canon. It says the Gemara, ein ish goel. Yes, other Yisrael she'ein a goel. Is there anybody in Klal Yisrael doesn't have a goel? How can be somebody no goel? Ella, because like goes with that. Is a ger doesn't have kroivim. Good. Doesn't have relatives, doesn't have kids, doesn't have family, and therefore the money is hefki. And it goes whatever. To the Kahanim by Gez Lager. Right. Try the Gemara of Amrachmana Ish. Why do you say Eile Ish Goel? Eile Goel. What's Ish? It says that the Gemara Ish at the Torah Lachs Olav. Fine Ish, you have to go and look if he has kids. If you actually go in lav. Cotton, if it's not a mitzvah, if this ger is not a mitzvah, you have to Torah Lachs Olav. That's it. If he dies, there's for sure no kids. Why for sure no kids? You do because biologically it's not possible for a kid under bar mitzvah to have children. So it's not like Rav Chisda. Not Rav Chisda. Says the Gemara, Eisvei, Abaya. Says Ish. Says in the pasuk Ish. Gabe Shivcha Charufa. The Ish Ashish Gabe Isha Shivcha Zara. Okay. Eile Ish. Well, you know, Ish always means bar mitzvah. Aleph Yud means bar mitzvah. Eile Ish. And Tashon of Yemechad. You have somebody at 9 years old, Shiroi Labia B'Nayin. You have somebody 9 years old, Shiroi Labia. How do you know that? It'll also have din of Shivcha Charufa and Gabahar. Says the Gemara, Tabalaim, Va'ish. Va'ish. Could have said Ish, it says Va'ish. Tabalaim Va'ish. So you see that you can do a beer. And this is what we always used to, knowing that a ben test Shonim Yemechad can be boiled. Amalei, Yesh Levein Moiled. Yeah, he can do a beer, but it's not strong enough to moiled. Ketvua Shlev Yesh like tvua, that before it grows a third, then it can put it back in the ground, but it won't make any nothing will grow. It's tvua. Nothing will grow. Nothing will grow. V'chesketan another makar. State v'chiyazit ish. Interesting raya. Last week's parish v'chiyazit ish al re'eu. What's lashon ish? So we say what's lashon yazit? Ish meizid u mazriya. A man can be meizid and he can be mazriya. Lashon yazit is he is cooking. Vein cut meizid u mazriya. But a kid cannot be meizid and not be mazriya. I wonder about Rashi. My mashbad the high. This pasuk talk about killing. We're using this idea to say that you need to be an ish in order to be properly mazriya. My mashbad the high meizid mishnah the beshulahu. Where do you know that maize is the lashon of cooking? Says the Gemara, Yazid, Yaakov Nazid. Says the lashon Yazid. Yaakov Nazid, Yazid. So Yazid lashon cooking. So when it says Yazid ish, means that this person is of age that his Zera can cook, so to speak. Says the Gemara. So this whole Gemara says all these mandarim hold. There's no such thing as a child having a child. Under bar mitzvah kid cannot possibly biologically, scientifically, physically have a child. Is what? Oh, to have a child? Probably. The worst is bottom Eric is monim. Yeah. It has to be an ish, wherever it requires to be an ish. I remember Tana very small Ben Av. You say Ben Sera Moira. Only a Ben Sera Moira will be chayav, but if he is a father already, If this kid, this Ben Zera Moira, is not a Ben, he's a father, then he will not be a Ben Zera Moira. So you throwing the Havana, yeah. He's old enough to be a father or not old. He is a father. What's the case? So Elam with the Abba Boss of the Isish Taris, how can he be a father by the time he's a Ben Zera Moira? Elam with the Abba Boss of the Isish Taris, if it became Muberes after he brought Shtei Saris, but Oile became the Lekim Zakin, became the Lekim Zakin, how can that be? His wife, this woman, can only become Muberes after his bar mitzvah, and the whole time period of being a Ben Zera Moira is only Mekame the Lekim Zakin before he grows enough hair. So make a short kalahai. It's not that long. Pregnancy is 9 months. This is 3 months. This is 3 months. Only from 13 to 33 months. V'amar Rav Chris Padoi, Kal Yamov Ben Zera Moira, the whole lifespan, the whole time span of Ben Zera Moira is only 3 months. Well, that. Oh, Elalav must be the cases. The Abba Mekame the later Shtei Saris. Yeah, it must be she became Beis before Shtei Saris. Oiled Mekame the Lekim Zakin, and gave birth before was Lekim Zakin. So you see, even the kid can be moiled. Almost, if we see Alma, we see Shvab not cut moiled. Says the Gemara, no. No, really became Beis after his bar mitzvah. Va'oiled when Basa the Akiv Zakin. The birth of this baby, of this Ben Zera Moira son, was way later, after he was already finished. Finished the time of Ben Zera Moira that expired. Ben Zera Moira time expired. Va'oiled Basa the Akiv Zakin. Or the Kakasha, the Rav Chris Padoi. You got Kasha, don't you Rav Chris Padoi? Ki also Rav Dimi Ama Amrim Marava Ben V'lo the Krois Av. So it means that is when is he called a father? When the fetus is 3 months old. When the fetus, the baby, then once the baby, the uber, is now after 3 months, he's called a father. He's called a father. He's called a father. Therefore, that's the drasha. That's the whole drasha. Forget that's the whole drasha. This is a makor that a Ben Zera Moira that's 3 months after a mitzvah. He won't be called. He won't be.
Not for 3 months. What is it? 3 months too? After
what? Hukah Ibra. After 3 months, Hukah Ibra. Before 3 months, it's not Hukah Ibra. It's not Nikra till 3 months. So then, once she's bought Ish B'Shem Saris and she's pregnant and it's Hukah Ibra, then it has a Shem father. That's called a father. That's called a father. Interesting. There's a Shuvim Kivega. When's the name father begin? When does the person become a father? When the baby is born? There's a few things. Lamash, the first Kasha Kivega, when someone's wife be Beres, how can you bought Ishtoi if you hold Uba is Lav Yerech Imoy or Yerech Imoy? There should be Issa Baal Bitoi. Baal Bitoi. Maybe having a girl. That's Kivega's Kasha. Down there, when does he have a Shem father? When does he get a Shem father? Maybe only Pshat the lady is a Shem father. Maybe
you need a blood Kayomi, you have no blood, you have a person, you have a blood.
Okay. After 3 months, it's called a father, it's a baby. The Gemara says it's with the animals we have that idea. It's called a revere in the child. In the child. Right. So this is called here the Gemara says it's called a father then. It's called a father then. There's a Rashi Megillah Eile Aveim. Right? What did Rashi say? Eile Aveim? That's just with Matri, with Esther. Father died just after birth, and the mother died after birth. It's mashma that the father status comes in when we beres. This is where is an important part of that puzzle. As Shem father, okay. Shem Mitzias. Here the Gemara says Shem father is 3 months. Oh, the wichtige Gemara. Says the Gemara. Okay. Gufa. Ki also Reb Chris Badoi. The whole time span of Ben Zera Moira, is only 3 months. So I don't understand. 3 months, from now before we learned the Shiur Shtei Saris. From Yash Shtei Saris, at Yakim Zakin. So what is the Shia? 3 months? Or at Yakim Zakin? Says the Gemara, Hekim Zakin, Af Gav Lemadi Gimel Chadashim. Either two maslunim, whichever comes first. If it's Hekev Zakein, Av Gav Lemoligim Chadashim. Moligim Chadashim, Av Gav Lehekev. Whichever comes first. Says the Gemara. I love the Gemara. Yossi Rav Yaakov in her pocket. Rav Yaakov was sitting, he came from the pocket, Kavod Ravina, Yossi the Kavod Mishpei the Rav Huna, Radio of Shua. Shmavna Rav Krespedoi Avakasha. Why does he say the Shiur is 3 months? Because he becomes a father by 3 months. Right, what about, that's by pregnancy, a 9 months pregnancy, and he becomes a father after 3 months. What about a 7 months pregnancy? In the time of Gemara, there was 2 types of pregnancies. There was a Ben Sheva, Ben Tisha. There was a different type of pregnancy. From the beginning, it was supposed to be 7 months. Not that it came out early. Before in that place of Shas. This is one of them. So you see,
and by 7 was hooker before 3.
Doesn't really want to say. You see none of that. Shravner Krespedoi, Rav Shapsi, he led us to Shiva, even if she gives birth for 7 months. Ain't Ober Nukia b'Shlishimel. It's not. It doesn't become Nikia first. It doesn't become Nikia earlier just because it's got to be finished by 7 months. It doesn't become Nikia earlier. These Salkadatach Ober Nikia b'Shlishimel. If it'll be Nikia by 3 months, by a third. It's always is 3 months then 3 months or a third of the pregnancy. By 9 months, the third is 3 months. So maybe by 7 months, the third will be when? What it says by 2.5. 2 1/3, sorry. 2 1/3. Lamali Gimel, betray Tilsa Sagi. Let it be 2 1/3. 2 1/3 times 3. Right, it'll be 2 4 6, 3/3, the third. Sagi. So you have arrived this Gemara. There's din that no such thing. It's never hooker before 3 months. Yeah, it is. Why Ben Sarimoira do we say the Shiur is 3 months? Zilbasa Ruba. Most times, Roiv, it's hooker Ubra by 3 months, because most pregnancies are pregnancies of 9 months. You go with a Roiv. So the Gemara goes to town about this concept of Roiv. You go with a Roiv, that's why you got to kill this child based on Roiv. Because if you go with 7 months, it could be some woman pregnant, and it's hooker Ibra before 3 months, and this killed be Ben Sarimoira. So you go with a Roiv. So the Gemara says that's how you go with a Roiv. Interesting Gemara. Says the Gemara, Amrul Kabbalah of Hunan Bereder of Shua Amalei of Din the Fascist means Din Bas Ruba. By the Fascist you go with a Roiv, really? Hatoyna Amra, Veshafti Eida Vitzila Eida. We always look to find schusim for the person. We always try to get the guy off the hook. What?
This is the cooler.
Why?
No, it stretches the time.
You can become a Ben Sarimoira after 2 months, 2 months and a third.
No, if I was able to bust the road, then you need to wait till 3 months.
No,
It's the other way around. It ends after 2 1/3 months, or it ends after 2
yeah,
months.
he can become a Ben Sarimoira
Only
up till 3 months. So now, if it be Ben 7, it'll stop after 2 months and a third. So since you make a Ben Sarimoira up to 3 months, so that you're going lekula, killing a guy based on Roiv. Yeah, you go with Roiv, maybe. But Amras Zilbas Ruba. Adru Kabbalah Ravina, Amalev, Dina Fascist, Zinabas Ruba. What? You really don't go with Roiv? Roiv is all across the board. That's not. You have 2 Eidim. Echadai we had this before. Echadai b'Shtayim Chodesh, Echadai b'Gimel. 1 8 says it was day 2. 1 8 said day 3. It's a kiyamas. We say no, they're not contradicting each other. Why? Is there Yedei b'Burish l'Chodesh? Is there any day? One knows that the last month what Malay, one was Chas. He's like that. If you have to mamish, you can try every tactic. Zil name. Who said it's saying the same day? See, normally people know they're saying the same day, but maybe not. Name it Hana Dafka Kamasadi. But Kusha do Makshadadi. Mechtes Yavedus. If you really want to drill it, maybe you say Shafti Eda. You know, Elalab, she goes, Zilbas Ruba, River the Insha. Most people make a mistake. Most people know the dates. Who knows the dates? Ruba the Inshi of the Taibur, the Archa. Therefore, we have a stomach, a roiv, and the guys know they talk about the same day, and they don't know that they have the month. So you say, you do give us a roiv to kill a person. Amarav Yarmi Medifta after Nabatida, Bashalashon Yemechad Miskadesh the beer. State a girl 3 years old, beer works. Not less than 3. 3 years old, she's miskadeshes with a beer. It's called a beer. In Bala Yavam Kana. Once there's a beer with a man, After 3 years, Bola Eshtish, Vachavna Lem Eshtish, Kav Eshtish, Matamas Bayala. Yeah, if she comes another, the Tama Mishka Tacht and Galian, the blanket that she has, bottom of her, on top of her, will be Tame. This is Lakoid, Achad of Truma, Shmar is a Koid, the Truma, Bola Echmed Absulim. Once she's 3, then that beer is called a beer. Bola Echmed Absulim, Apostle Minakuna. The beer of apostle makes apostle for Kuna. The Bola Echem Kalaroyas. Anybody of any of the royals, Bola after 3, Moslaleo, she will get, they will get killed because of her Fipatura. Okay, she's Potter, she's a Kitara, she's not a Batsanchi. But the Beis says, if she's a Ishish, then she's going to be Mechayev, the boil, when the Issa Ishish, he will get killed. The boil will get killed when she's a Ishish. How can you have a girl, a 3-year-old girl, a Ishish Vadai? Maybe she's an islandess. It's not Vadai. Maybe she's an islandess. And if she's an islandess, there's no marriage. So how are we killing people over here? Okay, I get it. You have a roiv, you have a miyat, people are islandess. I died to Dachale Kaddish. People don't have in mind to make Kaddish islandios. So there's no marriage. So a man to make Kaddish a girl, 3-year-old girl, and someone else is ball out, you're gonna kill the boil. Who said she's married? Maybe she's an islandess, and therefore the marriage is not a marriage. Also, right. So that's the shadow. Here they want to bring all the Makoris in from Churin. Why do we bring the same Makoris? No, right. Right. You're sure. Chaitzi said a beautiful word last week from the Chidah. Right. So I don't know what I was. Normally I thought Tais would ask the Kasha. I know Tais has asked the Kasha. This is a lot of places Shas. They're the ones that bring the other rise, treifas and different rise. So why do we bring those rise? I'm sure that Chaim talk about it or Rishonim. I love reading Basaruba. Rav Nosh love islands in. Says we know my Chav Aleo Diktoni carbon. Who said it's Chav means Misa? Gun carbon. More of a Mimsa Yad Diktoni. Says Bala Echem Kalaroyes. They get killed. Says Gemara Bala Avia. Yeah, Bala Avia. Says Avia, but the only erva that we talk about is a father. Could have been another erva too, but one that's a relative. Not the gay if she's married or not married. Not because of the Eshish aspect. Won't be because of the Eshish aspect. For in Bala, Echad Bekala Royas Ktani. Any Royas, which means any Royas will be Bala, will be Misa, even Royas that came through marriage. Even ones come through marriage. Father-in-law or stepson, Rashi says, Elach, my skin on the Kibla Lavei. Have a way out. The guy was Makabel. He married this girl. He says, even if she's an islandess, I still want this marriage to be a marriage. This marriage is not about, it's unconditional. Unconditional. The marriage is unconditional, not dependent if she's a basponim, not basponim. It's unconditional marriage. Tanabonim.
The way the Gemara sets it up.
Right.
That it came and we had a discussion and they said it, in front of the
right.
Sure. But could be this was mamish the discussion. These are the rights.
Okay, so why do you other rights? Kind of shrugging.
Yeah.
But the more stays, the more blab from Maskana, you don't give us a roof, right? More blab, Davarai, you give us a roof. Davarai, so yeah, I hear. Says about talk about how much letters with no cotton. You have a mother that's playing around with her kid, with her own kid. The harabot, a little kid, without cotton. And this kid was boil or hara in the mother. Shamoimrem, pass the minakuna. Sham say that's called a beer. Enough to pass the mother minakuna, but still machshira, still says kasha. Amr here, braid the rabbi varachmeni, Amr of Chista, Amr of Chista, Amaziri. What age kid are we talking about over here? What age? A kol moedim, everyone agrees. Ben Teshon, Teshon Yemechad, Shavias a beer. Everyone agrees. If it's 9-year-old, then the beer is going to be a beer. Pachas Mika, Ben Shmoina, less than 8. Everyone agrees. Ibias a beer. That's Pashat. No one like B'Shabbos Hillel, like Gabby, a little kid. And Nachrokud, they argue only one place. Ella Ben Shmoina. They argue by Ben Shmoina. Shabbos Sabri. But Shabbos say, Kamrinon Midoris Rishonim. However, in Doris and Shani, we'll see soon that previous generations gave birth when they were 8. Boys were able to make women mubaris pregnant when they were 8. 8. Mathematical equations coming up to prove this. Previous generation had that. So I'll say previous generations were previous generations. It's not previous generations today. But sorry, like we don't know now from previous generations. Says the Gemara. Okay, that's about like did things change? We know people live less, not as long as it did previous generation. That was a long time ago. This wasn't that long ago. Says well, let's see the Makoiris. But there is Rishonim in Olam. How do you know previous generations? Men or boys gave birth, were able to make women mubaris on 8. Bas Sheva, there was a woman called Bas Sheva. She was wife of David HaMelech, the mother of Shlomo HaMelech. She was Bas, this is Bas Aliyam. So the mem here, I'm not sure it's a samach. I think it's a samach. No? What's it about you? In the pasuk, what? It's mem samach. So he said, okay, Eishes Uriachuti, whole story, Bas Sheva. So Bas Sheva was the daughter of Eliam, Bas Sheva, daughter of Eliam, wife of Uriachuti, Oksiv Eliam ben Achitophel, Hagiloni. So this mother of Bas Sheva was a daughter to Achitophel. So Bas Sheva was the inical of Achitophel. What? Eliam was a man, sorry. Eliam, God. Bas Eliam. Eishes Erech is going on Bas Sheva. Yeah, sorry. But Eliam was ben Achitophel Giloni. So Bas Sheva was the inical for Achitophel. Achitophel, ben Eliam, ben Achitophel. Okay, fair enough. And they had a son called Shlomo Melech. Shlomo Melech. Uksiv Yishlach Biad Nasla Navi. Bikesh Yedidya. They called Shlomo Yedidya. Bavik Shemaheva. And this is after he was born. Uksiv Yishnu Saim Yomim. Yeah, then 2 years went by. He goes in Avshalom. So for 2 years of Shlomo. Uksiv Avshalom Barach V'Yerech Geshura Yisham Shalom. Now, after 2 years, then Avshalom ran away, and he was there 3 years. Up to now, 5 years of Shlomo Melech's life. Never know about it. Except Yosef Avshalom Yishlayim Shemasayim Yomim. Then Avshalom was there in Yishlayim 2 years. He was a rebellious kid, this Avshalom. Go up to 7 years. Correct? We had 2, 3, now another 2. Except Yomi Kedabarim Shana. Yomi Avshalom, Alamelech Elchana, Shalom Sadar, Shadat Shebechevron. Good. And that was the whole rebellion. And now Shlomo Melech was 7. Correct? Shlomo 7. The Zera, or the elder Zera of Shlomo Melech, David Melech's Bechuten, Achitophel, he saw Nasa Tzasoi, his Eitzer, the world listening to him, so he committed suicide. Listen to this. Therefore, by Yachbesh as Chamoiroi, Yaakov Yelech al Beisoi, Vitzav al Beisoi, he gave the tzavah, and he told him, okay, I'm done. And he committed suicide. Vayechanik, and he died. So Achitophel died when his great grandson was 7. Look at the Psukim, he was 7. Uksiv. How old was Achitophel now? The elder Zeder, when his uranical was 7. Uksiv. Anshe Dami Mirma. Now Achitophel did not end off good. Pasuk says, Anshe Dami Mirma, lo yechzu yemeim. Anshe Dami, we call these people Anshe Dami Mirma, bad people and perverted people. Lo yechzu yemeim. Tanya called Shloitzim Shal Doeg. All the years of Doeg Adoimi, Einon Ella, Shloishim Arba. Doeg Adoimi was only 34 when he passed away. But Achitophel was 33. It's interesting. 33 is a lot of people lived at 33. Young 33. Result where? Result, yeah. Maybe there are more. Chris mentioned it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's interesting. Achitophel, now, you're 33, and he had an uranical of 7. And that's pretty impressive. An uranical. He had a son called Eliam. She had a daughter called Bas Sheva. And Bas Sheva had a son, Shlomo, that was 7, and he was 33. Now, do the math. Kama Havanu. Cross the class. Okay, 33. Dal Sheva, that was Shlomo. So, how old was he when Shlomo was born? Take up 33. So, it'll be 26. 26. 33. Yeah, going in the 7th year. Place this. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's 26. Now, okay, now the 26. Yeah. Okay, that's okay. The most common. 26, and he had an uranical. Dal tatishli the tlasibure. How many years did it take pregnancies? So let's see, there was 3 pregnancies. 3 pregnancies. Aliyah to be pregnant, Bathsheba and Shlomo. So that's 2 years. And they made Tumah in the middle. The minimum possible amount of time that took. So how it take up 2 years? Now he's 24. So 24 years taken off until she was born. So that is, each one was 8. He must be 8 when he had Aliyah. 8, 16, 24. The mathematic works. They all gave birth 8. So you see, Doris Rishonim gave birth at 8 when they were 8 years old. Achatov was 8 years old when he gave birth. So I just want to know, Mimai, they were Tavai B'Teisha Oiled. Maybe they were 9. It's very delicate here because if 1 year off you don't have a raya. Maybe they gave birth at 9. We're talking about the men. Achatov and Aliyam. Bathsheba needed Bashis. Maybe the women go earlier. Maybe she goes at 6. How does she say? Who put her down to 6. 2 years. It's a barrier. Women are stronger. Yeah, women are stronger. The Havala Vlad Mekora. It's clear Bathsheba had a baby before that. Shlomo wasn't their first kid. So Manushach, you have to say before 8. So Akach, women are different. Our story is about men, about Chorim, not about the Kavas. So that raya is not a raya 8. Not a raya 8. Elamach. The Pasuk Ela told us Terach. Terach is Avram, es Nachem es Haran. 3 sons, the Zera Terach had. Avram got him now. We assume 1, 2, 3. Avram got him in Nachar Shana. Avram was first, older than Nachar with 1 year. Got him Haran Shana, older than Haran by 2 years. Nimtz Avram got him Shtei Shana Haran. Avram was 2 years older than Haran. Correct? That's what we're assuming. The Pasuk says Yikich Avram and Nachar Nashim. Avram took a wife. Who was the wife of Avram? Sarah. Who was Sarah? Daughter of Haran. Okay. The heilige Baba Sarah. Ein Chsiv kol Isha shetoim Sarah, kol shetoim elei Sarah shbava koila Yizka shad ruach hakodesh bavach Yizka shakol sach biyafya. A Chsiv. Okay. How much older was Avram more than his wife Sarah? How much was Avram older than Sarah? A Chsiv yipol apod of Yitzchak v'yem b'levoy. Kama kosh Avram Sarah. How much was Avram older than Sarah? 10 years. Okay. And how much was Avram older than her father? 2 years. Now, so how old was Haran when Sarah was born? Right? So how could that be? There was 10 years difference between Avram and Sarah. So how old was Haran max? 8. It must be 8 when Sarah was born. Must be. Because he was born 2 years after. Beautiful raya. Sarah, 8. 8. It's a good raya, but Haran. So everyone know Dilma Avram Zutta. Who said Avram was older? Maybe Avram was younger than his brother. He was first. In the pasuk, maybe the order of the pasuk is not the order of age, order of chachma. How do you know that? Tell you that the chashla kra derech chachma the same. But he Noach ben chamash ben shana. Yoel Noach is Shem es chametz Yafes. Who was older? Shem or Cham Yafes. And it says Shem gadol micham shana. He was older than Cham 1 year. Right? Is that so? Was he older than 1 year? Says the Gemara. Can't be. Cham gadol miyafes shana. So you say go all the psukim. Shem gadol micham shana. V'cham gadol miyafes shana. Shem gadol miyafes shtei shanim. It's going to be older than him by 2 years. Is that so? Is that so? No. Noach was 600 when the marvel's on the ground. told us Shem was 100 and he had a prachshat shalasayim achamabel. How does that work? If Noach was 600 when he had the youngest child, so how was Shem 100 years old and when 2 years after the marvel? If he was the oldest, if Shem was the oldest, The Noach was 500 when he gave birth to Shem. And Noach was 600 by the Mabel. And 2 years later, Shem gave birth to Arpachshad. So if he was the first child, then he should be 502. The first child Noach had, he was 500. And the first written in the Pasuk is Shem. It's Shem. And it's born 2 years after the Mabel. Arpachshad doesn't say 202, 502. Elamai. The order is not a raya of age. The order is not a raya of age. The order is the order of chachma. No raya. So we stuck in the raya. It says more Amr of Achra, Amr of Kadam, Ritla Shvaita Kavder of Zvid Ben Adah, Amri At Malcha Mastitz, and Anan Malcha Mastin Allah. Have another raya. Instead of the Pasuk, for Shem Yulad Gamhu, Avi Kabana Eva, Achi Yefes Hagadol. Oh, it says Yefes Hagadol Sheba'acham Hava. Okay. So the Pasuk, Yefes is older than Shem. So you see that the order of the Psukim is not an order of it's not an order of age, order of chachma. Good. So this is parasha. This concept. This is parasha. Betzal ben Ur ben Chor about Yehuda. Betzal ben Ur ben Chor. How old is he? Thomas Hazuva. Eishes Kalev. Yikich loy Kalev. Es Ephros v'Tedel es Chor. Right. Chi'avad Betzal Mishkan Bar Kama Hava. How old was Betzal when he made the Mishkan? How old did he make the Mishkan? Tleisa. 13. Okay, he was 13 by the Mishkan. Atanya Shadra Shoyna also Moshe Mishkan. Shnia Heike Mishkan. Shalach Barakim. Sibin Aborim Shana Anoichi. Shlech Moshe Eved Hashem. Who was that? That was Kalev talking, right? Ba'ata Hini Anoichi Hayoim and Chamash Shmonim Shana. Kama Hava Arboim. He was 40. Dalar Beis. That was when he said Meraglim. That was a year after the Mishkan. Year after the Mishkan. So how old was Betzal then? 14. Okay, he was 14. And what was he to Betzal? So his Ephros, that Chur, was a Zeda. Was the Esther Meshis. It's up to 26. And he was a Zeda. Tal Tatit Lasibure. Take off for the pregnancies. 3 pregnancies, he was the elder Zeda. Shtakich al Chad V'Chad, the Tamne Oiled. Each one gave birth. I ate. This is a raya. That's a good raya. For mathematics, it's a raya that it was had three generations. In that, right? So it's a raya that gave birth 8. Doris Yishayim. Okay,